And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of Weaverbirds Live TV with me and Emma. And we are your hosts for today. And Emma, we are talking about careers today. The contrast we are, isn't it funny?
It can literally be anything, and that's okay. It's good content, lovely guests, and yeah, it's an interesting one.
Oh, it just makes me laugh whenever I giggle about the conversation we're about to have. But But let's talk about the week that was. Now, it was another one of those weeks that just went, wow, is it Friday already? Or
Yeah.
Thursday night for you? Holy moly. So tell us about what happened in your weekend.
I've had a quiet enough week. What'll I tell you? I know, you see, here in Ireland we always talk about the weather, but that's because we be fascinated. It was absolutely scorching today, so it was like out and about as soon as we finished work. It was absolutely gorgeous. This week I've been kind of busy, believe it or not, and I hate talking about it, but we're kind of coming a wee bit more out of lockdown as from tomorrow. So the hairdressers are open and the nail bars and the beauticians and things like that. So everybody's buzzing a bit. You can really feel that people are like feeling a bit of hope or something. Now that's all that's opened, and then next week I think some of the shops. So there's definitely a mood shift. People are feeling a wee bit more hopeful as well. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in work within Inspire, we've started going back in again. We started going back into the office and rolling some of our programs as well. So that's been really good for the teams and really good for the members. And then within Mental Health International, I had my brilliant session with the gym last night, Embrace. It's a gym here in the north of Ireland, and they're doing like a mindset as well as the physical thing, and it be absolutely brilliant. I'd be buzzing after it. So I had it last night, so it's all good, all go.
You're doing such amazing, wonderful work in the community. I'm just in awe of what you're doing. I think it's amazing and wonderful. And it just helps people come out of it, because whenever you've been in a shell, you're coming out, you're going like, oh, is that the light? It's going to be a transition. But imagine you're going to be able to get your hair done. That's amazing.
Honestly, it's getting a bit of a joke. I swear to God, our Lisa be's laughing, because when I started doing my mental health videos, my hair was up to here. And now that was in September, and now it's down to here. That's because the hair, I've just had to let it grow.
Totally jealous. Emma got all of those genes. This is my hair, and this is what it stays at. It never grows, not even an inch. It's. I'm going to start having long hair thoughts, and let's see if it works for me. Because Emma's got the thick, luscious locks, and I've just it's the blonde dye as well. I'm quite sure.
You're blonde. Yeah, it's all how you look at it. You're the blonde.
Yeah.
Which is something.
And Sheena's here. Sheena's here. Hey, Sheena, how you going? And if Mum and Dad's here, hello, Mum and Dad. We have to always remember.
Do you know who we should give a shout out to? Karen, Kevin. Kevin's 70 tomorrow.
Oh, Kevin! No way. That's
and he
amazing.
Watches this. Yeah. So happy.
Hello,
birthday,
Kevin. Happy birthday. We will not sing to you because we can't do that to anyone. And hey, Roshi, how you going?
It's good fun. So
Sheena says you need amigos, Karen.
I know.
Well, I have a book launch today. I had a book launch on Monday for Mind Body Spaces. Goodness me, was that not a good book launch? I adore her book.
I was so glad I tuned into that, Karen. What a conversation. Oh,
I didn't expect that, did you?
No,
It was Joanna James from The Successful Woman, and she's a corporate, she's a professional woman, but when she opened her mouth and started talking, the words that she talks about, mind, body, spaces, it was just music to my ears. And it was science, but it's also, just doing the right things in life and surrounding yourself with the right energy. It made me want to go and clean my house from top to bottom to clear the energy. It didn't happen though, but
it was there was some amazing nuggets of wisdom in that, and you being the fabulous interviewer as you are, you were able to draw out and allow for that conversation to really go deep in terms of what and how she explained it. I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was so good. I loved it. And thank you for saying that. That's so lovely. And then Wednesday, I had my universal conversation with Gary. We were talking forgiveness, and wow, that conversation went different places than I expected it to. And that's what it's like on these. We're week 7 of the Universal Conversation series, and we're actually, that you can find in Think Network, guys, that you can actually go into Think Network, but we're turning them into a book as well. So watch this space. You won't get everything. But it's gonna be amazing. But it's really interesting. Even I'm like, wow, it's amazing what comes through whenever you have the theme. So it's really good. And I'm writing. See these tired eyes? They are writing out. That's what you've got.
But you're in your element. You're
I'm
in your happy
in my
place.
element. Yeah, absolutely. My heart is singing. I have got 2 writing days a week now because I have a big schedule for books this year. So watch this space. And I'll be calling on everyone, please help me get them out there because they are designed to help people.
Yeah.
This bridge to your living life with your heart's desire. So people asked and I'm now giving. So let's talk about careers because that's my career as a writer. I've got a career as a publisher as well. I've got 2 names, 2 hats. Emma, we could not be more different when it comes to careers. You knew what you wanted early on. I have been a jack of all trades for years and years. I think I haven't even counted, but I think it's probably in the 20s, the amount of jobs I've had during my life.
Really? Oh, good.
All different stuff, all different things. But I think it's given me content for the books that I write, because I've been in those characters. So that's what I'm thinking of it as. But let's talk about you and your career path.
You're not going to believe it, Karen. I was actually interviewed by Southwest College, Fermanagh College to us, but that's what it's called now, yesterday for the healthcare students, and that's actually what they were talking about, your career path and how did you get to where you were. And I suppose the idea being, I've been very successful in my career in terms of mental health, but I didn't, as most people probably know, I didn't go to school. I done my GCSEs. I didn't go and do A levels, go and do a degree, and that's not how my path really started, which were a lot of people in my position, that's what they did. They went the straight route. I kind of took a wee by road, and that actually worked far better for me, and that's really why they wanted to ask me in. So I've been with Inspire for 22 years.
22 years. And like, you're not in your 60s, you're early 40s, so 22 years career is like,
I know.
I'll have to be 90 before that happens.
I know. But do you know what the lovely thing about my career is? Definitely I've been with an Inspire. Now I took a gap out and I went to work. Do you remember I went and worked and I managed all the home helps across Fermanagh, and that's where I got my management skills from, because they weren't transferable along with my qualifications. But I've been really, really lucky because in my job that I'm in, I've been able to tap into other things. So I manage mental health services across the West, and in different services in the West. And I've been able to work with probation. I've been able to work with youth justice. I've been able to work with supporting people. It hasn't been the same role. So I've had different jobs, but it just hasn't been the same role. So I've been very, very lucky that I have had opportunities, even though I've been with Inspire. And also, do you know what I think as well, Karen? I know we're giggling at the amount of jobs you have. You learn something every time. You layer it up. I think you layer it up. So regardless of if it's a supervisor in a meat factory, you've learned how to supervise teams and then transferred that skill onto something else, and that's equally as important, I think.
Absolutely. God. And I think of it and smile of the jobs that I've had, but I just loved them. I really did. And I always ended up the boss or the really high achiever for some reason. I just loved doing the work and I loved getting the best out of the job. That was just me. So that's why I always ended up in management. And as you said,
any surprise, let me tell you.
But my first job wasn't actually in the meat factory. My first job was in Lisnaskey in a tights factory where we used to pull the tights down over these plastic molds and check for ladders.
That is random. That is random.
Oh, you don't like it's like this conveyor belt, but you don't think of it. But it was the whole clock. I always remember the clocking in, and the having to get to the job because the job wasn't in the middle of town; it was out of the town, and you just walk there. It's crazy. But and so I was there for a little while. There was 6 of us in our little group, and there was older women, and I was the little baby there. But I soon left and went to the meat factory where I was for a few years, and I ended up the supervisor there as well. But I loved that. I loved it.
I do remember that was fun.
Yeah. And then I ended up in sewing clothes for Marks and Spencer's in Desmond's, and they asked me to go into a managerial position. I was like, wow, I don't want to be stuck here for the rest of my life. I'm going back to the meat factory. And I did. And then I worked I left because I wanted to go back. I left because it didn't work. The shift work didn't work with having a child. And so that was a big, because I was getting good money and it was a big thing to leave. But I went part-time into education. That's when I studied humanities. And I had 2 part-time jobs, and one was in a sandwich deli. God, I loved making sandwiches.
You still do? You still do? Oh my goodness.
See my platters when I do a salad. It's just like, yes. And I love that. And also in a wallpaper shop.
Right. Oh my goodness.
You remember?
Mrs. D, yes.
But the funny thing was I had my own little house, and all of my wages used to go and buy wallpaper because I used to love it. And I used to do the walls were getting closer because I kept doing my
That much wallpaper.
So I wasn't earning any money. I was just going to earn money for wallpaper. Oh my God. And then I worked in mental health as admin and also as a tutor for 4 years, but also in learning difficulties. God, I loved that job. It was so tiring, but it was so good what you could get. And lots of other things. I was an Anne Summers rep for a while, and oh my God, that was so much fun. Interesting but fun, and it was just like jack of all trades, but it's given me lots of content, lots of hats to delve into for my novels. It's so fun. But let's bring on the queen of careers, the wonderful Aly Bannister. Oh my God, people, you're going to adore this woman. And would you believe that her family are from the same town we are from, Newtown Butler? Like, goodness me, what are the chances? I had to come to Australia to meet her. And we've been friends for the past few years. She's actually the author of Johnny the Leprechaun, Breaking School Rules. Definitely check that book out. But she's also the author of Get Your Rear into Gear. So let's welcome Aly Bannister.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Hi.
Hello, Aly.
It's great to be here.
Now, I must have myself and Aly are on the same time zone, and it's 5 a.m. with us, so we love you guys. We are up. And for anybody watching, please share with us, what was your first job and what do you do now? We would love to hear in the comments.
My goodness. Well, I was thinking about this earlier. It was probably illegal, actually. My first job, I started when I was like 10 years old, working on the fruit and veg market at Banbury Market, unloading sacks of potatoes with my brother. And I would be there about 3:30, 4 a.m. before school in my school uniform as a young girl. And I look back now and I think, oh my gosh, obviously my parents thought, oh yeah, she's with her brother, she'll be fine, as you do, the Irish way.
Blank it out.
She's earning money, she'll be fine.
Well, you survived. You're here with us today.
Exactly.
You just reminded me that my first illegal job was turning turf at a bog when I was about 9 years old. Isn't that crazy? God, it was really interesting.
Health and safety didn't really go into it in those days. It just didn't. It was get out there, live life, and get on with it kind of thing. And
try and stay alive. Yeah, try and stay alive. That's the priority.
Yeah. It's a miracle the 3 of us are here together today.
Well, you know how much you do amazing work helping people get back into careers. Can you tell us some careers that you've had before you're a career coach?
Oh, My God. Well, it's quite funny actually. My first job, I truthfully, I didn't love school. Okay,
Yeah.
and not many. As you get older, you realise you're not actually the only one. There are lots of people out there just like you that didn't love school. But when you're on your own, you know, you think, oh, it's just me. But anyway, so I couldn't wait to get out of the place. So my first job was as a typist for an insurance company. And I wasn't the best typist in the whole world. But I managed to keep my job for a while. And when I went back to the UK a few years ago, so I was 16 then. And I actually went and knocked on the door of the guy that I used to work for. And I thought, oh, he won't be there. And he was still there. I said, I don't know if you remember me. I was the worst typist in the world. And I worked here when I was 16 years old. He said, I remember you. So, which is absolutely bizarre. But he was lovely and we had the greatest chat. But we both agreed I wasn't secretarial material.
Oh, that's the best. And only you, Aly. And you still show up every day and do it.
Oh my God, you know, but to be fair, I actually loved being, you know, I loved getting into the workforce but we evolve as people and we change. You're not the girls that you were when you were 16 years old. You know, how much have we all grown? If I knew some of, you know, now what I knew, you know, what I didn't know then, I would have had, you know, a different path. But the universe has brought me here and I am a career coach and I love doing it. My next job after that, I actually went into recruitment for a boutique recruitment agency in Banbury in Oxfordshire, ride a cock horse. And it was great. I just knew that was where my heart and soul should be. And I was really lucky. I managed to get lots of people jobs. And the joy that it brought in my heart was just incredible. And it's stayed with me ever since. So I've kind of gone in and out of it a little bit, but now I'm here to stay. I've been doing it for on and off for probably 30 years. And I just love it. I do love it.
And you have been gifted the gift of the gab, woman. I swear, whenever I see you in action, I'm like, look at her go. But one of the things is you have the biggest heart. I know that you just want to get everyone a job but you don't want them to just get the job. You want them to think bigger, think higher, get a better job, get better money. You know, I've watched that so many countless times. It's just like a superpower for you, isn't it?
I feel it almost, my energy feels elevated when I'm connecting with individuals who, particularly mums who have been out of the workspace for a while, you know, especially if they've had kids, some have lost their confidence and they don't know where to start. And I just, you know, my nickname is Mama B. I just have to nurture them and bring them on and say, you know, you are a superpower. You have to realize your worth. And so we partner together and it's about rebuilding their confidence. Because I did a workshop the other day and it was because I go in and do career workshops face to face all over. I work with about 25 different local governments now across Western Australia. And I got these mums all lined up, sitting next to each other. And I said, I want you to look down at one another's feet and have a really good look, a really, really good look. And then I want you to look at your partner's feet and next to you and have a really good look at their feet too. And I want you to ask yourself, do you have matching shoes on? And they all said yes. And I said, well, do you know what? You've got this. You're doing okay. Because as a mum, are we not grateful that we walk out the door in the morning with matching shoes on or, you know, our hair done or even underwear? Because we're trying to hold it all together. You know, we are running in heels, but we still accomplish. So it's a great, fun, exciting journey because I feel as if I can help others create. So I'm creating opportunities because I'm building someone's independence. You know, my aim is for all women and guys to recognise their own value and their worth, and then get out there and beat their own drum. And it's a marvellous feeling when I get all these amazing good news stories.
Oh my goodness. We've got a few comments here. Peace Mitchell says, so inspiring, Aly. Hey, Peace. Peace and Katie were guests on the show, and we know that because you're part of the Osmompreneur Network also, Aly. So, and Sinead Welch says, you are so on point. There you go.
Oh,
she can do it
fantastic.
any time in the day. This is Aly all the time. Aly, what the world last year, obviously with jobs were all up in the air and everything. What tips do you have for people for keeping positive around job seeking, or even keeping their jobs, you know, working from home?
Employers really appreciate individuals who are keeping their skills fresh and up to date, because I didn't know, and I'm sure, well, you probably do because you're marvellous. I didn't know what the word pivot really meant before COVID. You know, it's a new word in our vocabulary. We have to pivot. So after thinking about that for a while, I explained to my job seekers what we need to do is keep our skills fresh. We have to show employers that we can embrace change, because now the world of work is changing. It's a hybrid. It may come natural to the likes of you and I to sit on Zoom and have a discussion on various timelines around the world. But more businesses are now working where some people are office-based, some people are now working from home remotely. So for even mature age job seekers, you need to kind of get a grip on the new technology that's out there and just familiarise yourself with it. Everything is easy when you know how. You know, can you remember taking your driving test?
Yes, I failed first time. No, do you know what I went? You know what I did? I went up a down road. I nearly gave the driving instructor a heart attack. I swear to God, and I still expected him to pass me. Like what the hell?
I went up a tree. As I pulled in, and God bless her, my sister Anne was there for moral support, and she was hiding behind another tree, just dying, absolutely dying. I just couldn't. It was just, you know, sometimes in the UK where the trees kind of come out of the pathway, I couldn't.
It's absolutely the tree's fault. It's so the tree's fault.
Blame the tree. Blame the tree. Absolutely. And so getting back to careers. So, but with, you know, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone, all of us have to learn new skills, new techniques, new strategies. And so, but if we do it at small, tiny steps at a time and give ourselves an opportunity to breathe, we're all learning new technologies. And so anyone going either as a job changer or entering the workforce for the first time, you know, start embracing change, because with mature age job seekers especially, believe it or not, as we get older, we can get a bit grumpier.
Never ever. Oh.
And you know, more mature people don't always like. I was 50 at Christmas, and so yeah, I'm literally singing from the heart here. But we don't always want to be told what to do. It doesn't always feel great. However, this is the world we live in. So once we embrace that change, we put our big shoulder pads on and we just go for it and show employers that we have value. And we need to show WIFT, what's in it for them. So WIFT, it's called WIFT, what's in it for the employer. When I came here 12, 13 years ago, it used to be WIFM. So for the candidate, there were lots of opportunities and there was a skill shortage. So it's what's in it for me. I want to choose which employer I want to work for. Since COVID, very much so, it's turned on its head, and it's now what's in it for the employer. So if anyone can ever remember that, and then we just have to communicate our value. And it's, again, a technique that we can learn. So yes, I'm doing lots of video tutorials at the moment, teaching people things like whip it and whip up. But yeah, with a
I walk
success.
past Ali. I see Ali in one of the offices in the building we're in, and I see her there, and she's got the whole setup done doing these videos, and I'm walking past the glass window. Not distracting you, Ali. Amazing work, though. Absolutely amazing work. And I think one of the key things whenever you're job seeking is to remain curious. Goodness me, I am going to be learning things until I drop off the end of this earth, I promise, because there's so much, but get excited about it. When you're doing something that aligns with your values, aligns with what you want, your passions, then there's so much to learn. Always. Never going to know it all, and like, why would you?
Absolutely.
It keeps it, yeah.
And you also feel like if you can find a job that you have a sense of reward and fulfillment, it genuinely doesn't feel like it's laboured or forced. You actually enjoy going to work. So I try to ask individuals, find out what your true passion is, find your joy, and that's your starting point. Because then you can build on
We
that.
make it so complicated, don't we, Ali? It's like, find out what you love doing, do more of that, and in that happiness comes the success, because then you'll be the best you can be in it. And like, you're an entrepreneur and I'm an entrepreneur and Emma's an entrepreneur here, because we've all found something that makes our heart sing to help people, isn't it? It's just like,
yeah, I'm going to tell you a quick funny story if I can. So
yeah.
I do some voluntary work with the City of Kwinana and City of Rockingham, two local governments here, and I'm allowed to tell this story because I've got the person's permission. So an example of you don't know what you don't know. I had this guy come in and I do a resume clinic. So people come and see me and I get my highlighter pen out and kind of give them constructive kind of criticism or pointers, and then I give them ideas on where they could actually go to get their resume updated, or I assist them doing that, to build their confidence. So I've been doing this a really long time. I'm trying not to laugh. I've been doing this a really long time, and here is this gentleman that came with me. He had the worst resume I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, gosh, and I've been around the block a bit, trust me. And anyway, so he started, and he had great skills. He had fantastic qualifications, brilliant knowledge, just all this stuff. He'd been a property developer. Anyway, so in this resume, he'd written, he'd applied for over 100 jobs, and he didn't have one response. And I was like, give me that resume. What's going on here? Let me find out what's happening. And so I did. And it went on to explain how his lazy co-workers never did anything. So that's why the project was never completed. How the partners could never agree on anything. So therefore, nothing ever got done around the place. And I just continued to read on and read on. And I was like, I think we need to fix this up a bit. And I was in shock but then I realised, do you know what? There are so many people out there like that because we don't know what we don't know. If somebody hasn't told us, how do we know? This guy was an expert in his field at work, but he wasn't an expert as a resume writer, why would you expect him to be? Anyway, so I said, give me that resume. So I took it away and I actually did it for him, because I don't often do that because I want to do everybody's resume. But I did it for him. I emailed it off. And I didn't hear anything back, and I thought, fine, whatever. And then 6 weeks later, I actually got an email from him, and he said, I just wanted to let you know, thank you so much for that marvellous resume. I sent it off. I got 3 responses immediately. One was an interview request, and now I'm sitting at the airport. I'm just about to fly out to my new job in mining.
Oh,
Yay!
That is really good.
And I love it. I love it. But that's not about me. That's about him, and it's just a lack of knowledge sometimes. And so, yeah, I've taken it upon myself to get out there and share this knowledge with as many people on the planet as possible.
Oh my goodness, Emma, isn't it so fun?
Like, honest to goodness, and you can really see it's a mindset thing for a lot of people as well. And sometimes, and this is just my take on it as well, you might know what you want or really what career you want, but you'll probably know what you don't want. So sometimes it's about narrowing it down as well. And then that's where you come in coaching in terms of finding what their skills or their passion and that there, and ties it all together lovely.
Absolutely. And again, another thing I'll probably make you laugh, but I do actually say you have to have two things. And I say this in the book, your employer wish list, ideally, think about the kind of employers that you would like to work for, or list your non-negotiables.
Yes.
What will you not do for money?
or start your own business. If you want to be in the driver's seat, start your own business. Ali, we have went way over time. We're over.
Sorry.
Ali, we could listen to you all day. But Ali, have you got your book there to show us? Get your ear into gear. Guys,
you see that?
Yeah.
Published with KMD Books. We had fun on your lunch day. It was so fun.
Oh,
and she's an international best-selling author as well. Amazing human. And such fun content.
Thank you, Karen, for that. Thank you, Karen. I wore my Irish green blouse today as part of the adoptive sister team. So thank you so much for having me on the show. It's just the best.
Oh, we adore you. Trevor here says before we go, I totally agree. I find my passion with work and I feel so lucky in life. See, there you go.
Yeah.
You never work a day in your life. And Sheena said that when you love what you do, it never feels like work.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
That's right. And here we are at 5:10 in the morning. Does this feel like work? No.
Hey, we're in the 5 a.m. club, Ali. We jump out of bed because we have a zest for life every morning at 5 a.m. We often get on and chat as well. It's like I chat with these people at this time.
That's right.
Oh, thank you so much. Where can people find you, Ali?
So I am at alisonbannister.com. And so you can pop that in there. For those in Australia and Western Australia, I've got workshops, free workshops for job seekers all over WA. So they can come along and see me. I'm doing things from Busselton right up to, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to be working in Broome or for Broome soon. So I'm stretched like a bit of elastic, but alisonbannister.com, come and see me, or connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you.
Let me put that in perspective, people. She's going to have to fly to, 8 hours there? So from Perth. So, it's a bit away, a bit out of her way to go and serve people. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ali.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Lovely to see you, girls. Take care. Best of luck.
Oh, isn't she gorgeous?
How mad is it, Karen, that Ali hails from Newtown Butler originally, and then that whole connection? Like, I mean, you could just see how she is from there, in terms of the way.
It was such a serendipitous encounter when we were introduced to each other. We were like, oh, we found our friend for life. Where have you been? It kind of like this soul thing. It was hilarious.
What a job, what a thing she does, definitely. And especially when she said about mums going back into work, because that can be the most daunting thing for a whole load of reasons, emotional and your confidence, and then other things have moved on, and that's epic. Brilliant.
Does amazing work, and she does it with such enthusiasm. It's just infectious, and she will just inject into every single person that's in that room motivation and a zest to go out there and just kind of, even if they do it for her,
I know, but that's
want to do it for themselves, they do it for her.
That's what you need.
So we need more Aly Bannisters in the world. I absolutely agree. Well, everyone, thank you so much for sticking it out with us today. We've went, I knew it would happen. We are going to change the time of the show. We're going to be changing the time of the show. So please come and give us your input and share with us. We'll give a few options just to see where we can, because it's pretty late in the UK and as well. So we're going to try and find an option that suits everywhere. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week for episode 14. We haven't announced our guest yet. We don't know who it's going to be. It'll be as much of a surprise for you as it will be for us. But thank you for joining, guys. And Emma, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, what an energy session tonight. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and help us out with the time. So fill in the poll whenever we put it up, and thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
Bye everyone. Thanks, Ali.